Five agency, and we are here today to talk about the integrated marketing campaign of AGK. Firstly, I'd like to introduce you to the team. This is Gina and Sonia, that's Min, Akriti, and Philip. So what do we actually do? We commit to do creative work that brings good results. We're able to generate ideas and transform a business. We're not a huge agency, however, we are very ambitious just like our clients, and we have a good amount of experience in a range of industries. These are a few of our clients, so I'll start mine. With our objectives, we're focusing on the 25 to 44 age group in order to increase monetary donations and number of volunteers. Here are a few facts and figures. 760,000 paid employees are in the UK charity sector. Combined income in UK charities is around 3.9 billion per year. On a regular basis, 44 million people in the UK donate, giving an average of £16 a month. It's larger than the automotive industry and UK universities. Charities add more value to the economy than arts and agriculture.
We do some analysis about SWOT. You can see that this is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The strength, we are the largest charity organization, and the thing is, we are a good number of volunteer and expertise, and we create the strength, opportunity, we capitalize on our expertise and to target young adults to increase its awareness. We base on our strength in volunteer and expertise to reveal our press by establishing a strong brand position and presence in the market. About the combination between opportunity to reduce weakness, we connecting young adults through digital methods to take part in charity and gain unique differentiation. And to reduce threat and weakness, we create new ways to involve young adults to take part in volunteering and donation. A little bit about Anthrope Magic. In our campaign, we target new market and new product. We target younger generation compared with our current donator and volunteer now. This one is a stakeholder map. It's a linkage between the stakeholder that regarding our company. Yeah, and from this, we categorizing the stakeholder and the high power and high interest we define for our organization is donor, fundraiser, and volunteer. This is the reason why we focus on donor and volunteer in our campaign later. Our main competitor is Contact, the elderly Royal Voluntary Service, and this is the positioning map. We make comparisons in appearance among the elderly, among the younger people, and engagement, low engagement and high engagement. The point of parity, the similar between us and our competitors is that we have the same target audience, the elderly people. We have the similar concept, similar donation method, and similar volunteering program as well. About the difference, we better with that we have the highest number of volunteers. We're active in social media platforms, and we have the inclination towards commercial creative revenue. But the thing is, we less inclination towards social events.
Okay, so while we were going through the client brief, we figured one problem: the target market was too varied, so we thought we would divide it into two parts because the trends were different within the age group. So we divided into 25 to 34. That's more of a young group, which is very socially conscious and a powerful, cause-driven group. And they are highly engaged in cause-driven activities, but they are generally cash flow people. And our second group is 35 to 44 years old, which is more of a mature market that includes professionals, people at managerial levels, and with families and children. They would not necessarily have time, but of course they would have money to. So our key issues were lack of charity appeal, that is, for giving. They do not know why to give. There's no motivation. There's no as such motivation. There's a lack of credibility in a way because UK has gone through, there was an energy scam there happening. So there are a lot of issues where people do not trust the organization a lot. So why, they would just think, you know, why should we trade there? Because we don't know where the money is going, how secure it is, and stuff like that. So coming to the objectives, our business objectives were to be UK's most popular charity organization working towards making a better life for all. Our marketing objectives were to grow participation and funds by 10%. That's participation, 20% that's funds to increase them. And our marketing communication objectives were again according to the two age groups. So for the 25 to 34 years, it was to harness passionate commitment to motivate them to volunteer. And for the second group, we had to be a value service provider among 35 to 44 years old to motivate them to donate and kind of provide them safe gateways and tell them, you know, it's secure, it's okay to donate, everything is safe. Okay, so our campaign 1 is for the younger group, that is 25 to 34 years old. So basically, it focuses on more loving, more power. Since I just said that they are a very cause-driven group, you know, if I want to volunteer, I need to know, you know, what am I getting out of it? What is the reason behind it? Because if we are like that, right, we need to know reasons and given to us for everything. So yeah, so we quantify the target market, that is 3.04 million, and the time frame would be 1st November to 30th April. The tools and the tactics that we would be using would be digital and social media. We would be using newspaper and print, we would be using direct marketing and PR, of course. So our we did a steps to motivate them. So our 7 steps would be to educate them, tell them what is charity about, why you should be motivated to do it, and then trust. Of course, it's a very socially driven young group, so they have very strong connections, right? Social groups, so they're very powerful. So we need to trust them in order to run their own campaigns and give them the freedom to do it. Networking, of course, we need to communicate it online, right? That, you know, there are ways to do charity and what is the benefits and reasons. Of course, we need to listen to them. For example, shout outs on Facebook and tweets, you know. We found that Age UK was missing on there, you know, there was no appreciating the clients personally, you know, when there's a personal touch, it always brings more connectivity. And inspiring, diversifying and reporting them, again, that's just to motivate them and increase the appeal of the charity. How we would do that is through an emotional reconnect with them, because through our survey we figure that 84% of the British people feel lonely, so there's a need to socially engage them and talk to them. So yeah.
Okay, I'll be explaining about the digital and the social media. So we will be conducting this campaign through the digital and the social media. Digital is social media is usually Facebook, Twitter, and when we survey this age group, particularly 24 to 34, are the people, they use Facebook as a percent of 88% of them use Facebook. Then I have figure of 49% use Twitter and 80% of them use YouTube. So it is more. And Twitter, because it is a very newsworthy line. Then there are social proofing. It's because these age group are the people who have a very good social networking power. Their networking is very good. So also social proofing will be very beneficial, is because if I am doing something, if I know something, I'm obviously going to tell in my social group, and it's like why, everyone is going to come to know and they will engage themselves. Knowing them, these are kind of people, they want to know what important it is, and throwing all of these information on these social platforms, digital platforms will be very beneficial. Then we talk about the time of update. On our survey, we have also, through statistics, we have also surveyed that between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. is the best time to post, to tweet, and yes, so this is the response. Okay. Then we talk about events. Events is one, PR is the other thing. So we came up with this new idea, that is wear a hat, tell a story. So on our survey, we have actually researched that these are the international days during a time frame from 1st November until December. 5th December is the day which is the International Voluntary Day. So, and 20th December is the day that is the International Solitary Day, which is the Loneliness Day. So it will be very beneficial for us to actually get the events on these days and motivate them to engage in this. And it's like we have come up with the hashtag wear a hat and tell a story. and this will motivate the supporters. Like we can have sessions created in the organizations. Since these people are professionals, they are more on the corporate level. So we can have sessions in their own organization. Then we can motivate them, inspire them that they should come. And these are the kind of people also one survey said that on an average, if you look that 80% of on an average, so the kind of the grandfather, these age people, they usually lose their grandparents, and it is a kind of emotional attachment. Like since they are gonna lose, so having this event would create a very emotional connection with them. Like they would go, they would want to volunteer them and have a feeling of like emotional connection between them. And okay, so since these days will be very much attracted, so there will be free media coverage could come. They would obviously want to have a media coverage, so no cost for media as well. Then we can have this follow-ups on social media, all the social media platforms, and yeah. And for the print, we have chosen the Daily Mirror and the Sun. Daily Mirror is because also on a survey we have seen that Daily Mirror is one newspaper which is a free newspaper. Secondly, it is mostly available outside the tube stations and everywhere, all on the corporate, and maximum 25 to 34 is the age group which uses Daily Mirror on a very everyday basis, and it attracts them a lot. And the readership is 1.8 and circulation is this much. So we thought of just posting stuff on print media. Is this?
So I'll be talking about the later part of the campaign. So this will be mainly catering to 35 to 44 year age group. Now since my colleagues, they have catered to the first key issue which mainly deals with the charity appeal, I'll be talking about the credibility aspect. Now since this age group has a comparatively relaxed approach, I mean it is quite evident that their energy level and the ones who belong to 25 to 34 year old, there will be a vast difference between them. So they can make a contribution to the society maybe through donations, and in a way when they give to the charity, there is a sense of self-empowerment as well, and a feel-good factor that is involved. We'll be using the following route in order to cater to our objective. So the first one would be to have an emotional connection through storytelling that can be done by feature stories. Second one would be educating the current donors. Now, since there's a lack of transparency in terms of accounts, you can do so through direct marketing, through emails, by having a more detailed version. The third would be to increase trust. So this can be done by maybe having previous donors on board. They can maybe talk about their experience. So that might build a sense of trust and maybe a sense of will that I would want to donate, I would want to make a change. The fourth, that would be to boost donations and involvement, which would be on a high and consistent level. So this can be catered through immediate call of action, which is something that the organization lacks. Now I'll be talking about digital, social media and direct marketing. We were just going through the client brief and observing the social media platforms. Yes, there is cross-posting and there are stories about how the elderly, they are living their lives. There's a very happy appeal to it, but yes, in terms of donation, there's a sense of sympathetic appeal which the social media platforms lack. And another thing that the social media platforms can be improvised on is the immediate call to action. The other thing is shout out on Facebook to say thank you. Now in terms of emotional appeal, I mean a sense of gratitude will always help to have an emotional connection. Then digital collection box. Since we were heavily emphasizing on transparency, a digital collection box will be innovative and helpful in that way that now, in the sense if someone from the age group of 35 to 44 is making a donation, you will know when are you donating, where will you be donating, the financial transactions that are happening, whom will you be donating it to, whom will it be helping, their story. So the commercial aspect is covered and you are catering to the emotional root, that you have a feeling that okay, I am helping this person, I'm creating a sense of difference to that person, I'm helping the person to have a sense of emotional upliftment. The mobile app development, now since this is something that we concluded from our situational analysis that personalized apps are trending and the growth and usage is quite noticeable. So here for Age UK, it will help to have a customized app wherein you can cater to the donations part. You can have like a profile of the elderly. You can just browse through their profiles. You can have push notifications wherein the donors are talking about their experiences. You can read more about them. And also the apps also can have an immediate call to action. And since we have noticed that on Facebook pages, there are donate now options, text to donate, but as a person, if someone wishes to donate, a sense of you will be a little hesitant because of the news, because of the scams, the laundering of funds that has been following. So the words simple, safe, and secure that might help to achieve the how objective and to eventually cater to the action route. Now this is something that we observed when we were catering to the SEO objective. Now while typing charity donation UK, the search results somehow did not show it, did not have Age UK, so it will help a little to have to cater to the SEO part, to have organic search results. Now, I mean, as in you're catering to the how section, you are having the emotive response, you are catering to the commercial part. But when it comes to the action part, this is something that they lack and it needs to be looked upon. The Facebook page, as I was talking earlier, that the action route, contact us, it will be a little more helpful and a little more persuasive if you have donate now option. The advertising, radio and print. Now the age group that we are catering to, 35 to 44, it mainly has an inclination towards radio. So you can probably have a 10-second ad. A 10-second ad probably because the attention span usually happens to be a little low. Advertising, so a half-page ad or a full-page ad that talks about the donation appeal, the emotional appeal, their stories, and how it can relate to you, a sense of relativity. The last bit that we'll be talking about is public relations. So first, the target group, it mainly has an inclination towards recreational activities. They have free time. So it will help a little, for instance, we can come up with something like Old Squad Night. So that can be publicized upon, and then, you know, something like a sense of cohesiveness, a sense of belongingness, to probably listen to someone, to lend a ear. So there you can probably promote the donation aspect. Second is collaboration with charity organizations to create goodwill. Now, as the reputation aspect, it has been undergoing downfall. So this collaboration will help to bring a sense of credibility that, okay, fine, I am associated with something like Age UK is associated with something as renowned and as credible as British Red Cross. So that might help to have the donation appeal. The blogger relations. Now, when the campaigns, the events that you are conducting, it will always be good to have media covering it, to have a free, to have earned media. Charity guest speakers. Now, the target group, usually it works in the private sector. So you can always have guest speakers, motivational speakers to have to connect to the emotional route, and you can always distribute catalogs. So that will help to cover the commercial aspect.
Okay, so talking about the timeline, we have divided the newspapers, the magazines, the social media and everything, SEO. Looking at the timeline, for the first campaign, it is the Mirror and the Sun. We will be conducting every alternate month. Looking at public relation at a stretch of 2 months, and then a little gap, and then again a stretch of 2 months. But for the SEO and the social media, it will be constant all through the 6 months, because they are the ones, like social media is very attractive and is expected to rise in the next 2017. So social media is one should be constant, and SEO is because obviously when you search Charity UK and when you search Charity Voluntary UK, it should be the first one to come up on the search. So obviously the SEO also would go on for 6 months. For campaign 2, okay. For campaign 2, the Guardian, again the same thing, the Guardian newspaper and the Daily Mail every alternate month. So which will be for 3 months. Radio is something which is a 10-second and we have on an average base a 15 seconds long ad.
So I'm afraid your time is up.
Okay, and the budget is.
Okay.